विद्या भारती उच्च शिक्षा संस्थान द्वारा आयोजित राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 से संबंधित इंटरव्यू सीरीज में आप सभी को स्वागत है। वी आर थैंकफुल टू माननीय विकास जी, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी विद्या भारती उच्च शिक्षा संस्थान, एंड माननीय रघुनंदन जी, जॉइंट ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी विद्या भारती उच्च शिक्षण संस्थान, for initiating dialogue and discussion on various aspects of NEP. Today we are going to discuss the provisions of NEP and school curriculum. इस कड़ी में आज हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं प्रोफेसर श्रीधर श्रीवास्तव। प्रोफेसर श्रीवास्तव is director NCERT and chairman National Institute of Open School. He has 20 years of teaching experience at various institutions of repute. He has obtained all his education from Banaras Hindu University, all higher education from BHU. He is a well-known statistician. So you are most welcome, sir.
Namaskar.
This interview will be moderated by Professor K.B. Das. Professor K.B. Das is currently Pro Vice Chancellor, Indira Gandhi National Open University and National Fellow, ICSSR. He is also Chairman, NCTE, ERC, and he was former professor at Utkal University. So over to you, Professor Das.
Yeah, yeah, Professor Srivastav. As we know, today we are here to interact with you, especially relating to school education and how this national education policy will be implemented there, and what will be the role of NCERT. We know that NCERT's mandate is to assist and advise the government on policies and programs for qualitative improvement in school education. Now, when we refer to the national education policy, especially the policy that points from 1.1 to 1.9 of NEP 2020, that emphasizes early childhood education, a major change in the structure. Now we have existing, as we know, 10 plus 2 and switching over to a new 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, where the children in the age group of 3 to 6 who were outside the school system will now be covered under schooling. And also presently we know that it is this is pre-primary. It is delivered mainly through the Integrated Child Development Services Scheme, ICDS, that comes within the Ministry of in the Ministry of Women and Child Welfare, and through the network of the Anganwadi centers. And this sector is not only unregulated, where many private players are there, many private operators, for-profit service providers, and they have proliferated all over, both urban, rural, and tribal areas. And this will be transferred to now to the Ministry of Education, and the responsibility will be borne by NCERT. So now we are apprehension. Our question that comes to our mind is, what changes will this new 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 bring about in the role of NCERT in terms of curricular, and pedagogical changes?
Yeah.
And what is your plan also to make this sector regulated?
Yeah. Sir, this is a very important point. And first of all, we should be very happy that this National Education Policy 2020 has taken a very clear note of this necessity which was there earlier also. Because early childhood care and education is very important, and now this policy formally brings it into the fore of school education. As you just mentioned, that 5E plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, and that 5 year, which will be 3 years of pre-primary and class 1, 2. Your apprehension about how it will be implemented, yes, that is a point, but I would tell that government and under the aegis of the government, we bodies like NCERT and the other autonomous bodies are very responsibly responding to the future needs that will be there. You might be aware that National Council of Educational Research Training has been mandated with uh, enacting 3 national curriculum framework, one in school education, one in early childhood care and education, and one in adult education. So what I mean to say that early childhood care and education, a separate curriculum framework is also going to be there. And at the system level, uh, the early childhood care, which was in a way, as from the government side, a mandate of women and child development, and government has very nicely prepared a document that is Quest about the implementation, planning for implementation of the policy. Their early childhood care and education with all the conditions means there are certain Anganwadis, pre-primary centers who are running separately. There are certain centers who are within the premises of or alongside the uh, school, primary school, and there are certain centers which are very within the premises. So all these kind of different situation, how we have to proceed, uh, we are seeing it, and mainly under the aegis of the Ministry of Education. And one very interesting point, sir, I want to make here. This time, we are finding, we have autonomous bodies also, we are finding that the government is giving opportunity for very frequent interaction between these autonomous bodies, and we are just taking it as if the implementation is a collective responsibility of all the organization and institution, and we are getting full support also from the ministry and its officials. And sir, you know that the foundational literacy and numeracy, which is also going to be launched as a mission, because we have SDG goals also. But now it is being seen very seriously that the first year and the class 1 and 2, in these stages, in this stage, or during these years, the child uh, achieves the learning outcome that is intended. So sir, we are planning, we are very responsibly responding to that. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. One thing that really comes to my mind is about NCERT is also a body for training of teachers. What kind of capacity building program can be taken up for this early childhood education for teachers in Anganwadis and Balwadis workers?
Uh, Sir, uh, uh, am I means I should proceed in English only or Hindi also?
I don't know. You can speak in any language, sir. Any Hindi also.
Yeah,
But
sir.
I am not so well versed in that, so I
Okay.
am skipping it.
No, that's right. Uh,
In fact,
देखिए, मैं इसको थोड़ा सा मुझे लगा कि जो और भी हमारे श्रोतागण जुड़े होंगे,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
उनको मैं ये कहना चाहता था कि इसमें जो ट्रेनिंग की बात है, ये मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा कि पूरे कंट्री में ये बात जैसे आपने पूछा, और ये बातें बहुत ही आवश्यक हैं, ट्रेनिंग का कंपोनेंट, क्योंकि एक जो एक ढांचे में जो परिवर्तन है, और इस परिवर्तन को हम हमारे जो वाहक हैं, वो हमारे एक आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर जो अभी तक अर्ली चाइल्डहुड केयर के वाहक के रूप में एक और बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट हमारे हितधारक थे, और वो जो स्टेक होल्डर्स की ट्रेनिंग का पार्ट है। इसमें ये जो अभी हम अगर देखें तो ये जो अवस्था है बच्चों की, इसमें बहुत ही रैपिड ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट होता है, और इसमें हमें एक पॉलिसी ने बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुली इसको बताया भी है कि हमको इसमें एक प्लेवे मेथड के थ्रू कैसे बच्चों को शिक्षण ज्ञापन और शिक्षा के टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस में इन्वॉल्व करना है. So here it becomes very important that how we make the environment within the school space very interactive, playway method, and you would be very happy to know that toys as a pedagogical tool is also being seen very empathetically, and we are yes, we are interacting with teachers. We are going to hold a toy fair also, and all these things will be a part of the training. Sorry. And here we are planning like that the framework would be there, that training modules will be prepared in consonance with the National Institute of Open Schooling. We are just thinking and discussing that National Institute of Open Schooling has a very wide network of its accredited institutions, which are we called as study center, and NIS has an experience of earlier also DLED program NIS has run. So in that way, we are just thinking and planning that the design is made from the NCERT side and in collaboration with other institutions, and it is rolled out through NIS network. Sir, even otherwise, the NISTA program that is still going on from NCERT, there also the component of early childhood care and education is being taken up, but in more structured form with the states and UT's participation. Yes, it will be needed that the immediate action should be that Anganwadi workers and are put to training, and they also become a part and parcel for the whole teaching learning process in the formal school system where the pre-primary is planned to be attached or open.
So very fine, thank you. Now, again, getting a point from whatever you said, you also spoke about attainment of foundational literacy and numeracy. You emphasized that one. Also, that is being emphasized in National Educational NEP 2020. Now, this learning crisis in language and mathematics during the primary school, and it has a very adverse impact on attendance, on retention, and also in future learning. And it is also intended by that by 2025, every student in grade 3 and above will achieve this objective, that they are expected to be proficient in this foundational literacy and numeracy. Now, what is the strategy of NCERT to focus on early language and mathematics in grade 1 to grade 5?
Yeah. Sir, the early literacy, as you emphasize, is very important, and National Education Policy has very clearly specified about that, and rather I would say that it creates a buzz around this concern. But sir, I would say that NCERT as an institution in 2016, under the aegis of government, was involved in a very, I would say, holy exercise of defining the learning outcome for the elementary stage. And the government notified in Right to Education Act. What I'm trying to say that Right to Education Act was there, but means it was not very clearly defined that what would be our target of the total teaching learning process. So there, from class 1 to 8, the class-wise, what should be the competency or skill that the whole teaching learning process should intend to be achieved by the child? It was defined or it was stated, and there we very clearly try to say that content would be a medium, and but we have our target would be the competency. So so since the competency is the target, so we have to move ahead of content, and the training component by NCERT or any other material surrounds around that idea. For early literacy or and for the foundation literacy numeracy, NCERT in all its documents after that, and even now the framework that we are providing, we are preparing for the FLN, we are saying it very clearly that experiential learning should be there, and child should be involved in different kind of strategy where the child gets opportunity within the school space to achieve the 21st century skills, creativity, innovation, critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, all these points. One more important point that we are emphasizing, and I would say that now the state government have also, and their functionaries have also understood it or have started understanding it, that assessment is very important, sir. Assessment is very important because and assessment is an intrinsic part of teaching learning process. So state governments are also now agreeing to that, and they have come to this conclusion that we have to improve our assessment process, day-to-day teaching learning process, and the teacher should spend the time with children in a manner so that childs get opportunity to express this 21st century skill, what we say and we talk about, that this 21st century skills have to be achieved by the children. So day-to-day teaching learning process should also surround around that. So these kind of things we are trying in all our documents, in all our training sessions, in all our collaboration or interaction with teachers, state resource groups, state officials. We are emphasizing all these points, and they are also changing their mindset. And teachers, mainly teachers, are now saying that yes, it is very important that the competency is achieved in the children, and all our framework documents is trying to say and trying to emphasize these things, and we are getting some success also. We are getting good success also.
Yeah, Professor Srivastava, one thing that comes to my mind, that it's a good thing that you have this strategy with you, but what is really a cause of concern is the earlier results. When we look about how these are being assessed, about the learning outcome, we are very, very concerned about the learning outcome. And so far the assessment is concerned, what module can be developed by NCERT for an effective, say, what is the effectiveness of this learning outcome that we have to assess this. So in order to know the effectiveness of this program, that what you are talking about, the strategy, now we want to know exactly where do you stand 3 years or 4 years down the line. So are you developing any module for that, for the assessment of this the learning outcome?
Yeah, sir, this is a very important point which you are making me to lead towards, and I'm very happy to say that 2017 was an year where the National Achievement Survey at class 358 was undertaken. And this National Achievement Survey had questions, multiple choice question. This was planned for a systemic reflection. National Achievement Survey was planned purely for a systemic reflection. It was not a reflection on an individual child or an individual school, but it was very important. And this systemic reflection in 2017, government was very ambitious, and it planned like this, where the estimates of the learning level or learning status of the children were given at district level. It was never done in earlier history in this country. 2017, for the first time, at class 3 level, at class 5 level, and class 8 level, these 3 levels pertain to elementary education. Country got a learning level estimate for each and every district, and there the questions which were designed, they were content free. They only they were aligned with the learning outcome. So why I'm trying to emphasizing again and again, for example, a child is having a content that child is reading every day in the school, and we ask the child to read this chapter. The child very well reads that chapter. But if we give another piece of paper, very simple heading from a newspaper, the child can't read that. But those questions which were asked in that National Achievement Survey, they were content free. They were the questions from daily life surrounding the child, and they were translated in their mother tongue. That has given a good benchmark to us, and government has considered that. And now you might be aware that the performance grading index has been planned by Government of India, and now the states will be funded based on that performance grading index. So in national education policy also, national achievement survey like exercise is going to be there. And if you let us say talk about the Parak has been mandated with a very wide range of rules that pertains mainly about the assessment. And 2021, we are planning for National Achievement Survey, the next round, in the same manner how it was done in 2017. So that will also give an idea that what progress we have made in learning outcome. And this is going to be there in the system. National Achievement Survey kind of thing, periodically.
Right. Yeah, Professor Srivastava. One more, as we are all the parents and also the teachers, maybe in higher education, but so far the foundation is concerned, it is the school really which fits the higher education and other things. So what is a very important point in the NEP is about the curricular, pedagogical, and assessment reforms. There, where it says that NCERT will develop a new national curriculum framework, which is expected to embed language proficiency, scientific temper, sense of aesthetics, ethical reasoning, digital literacy, Indian knowledge system, current affairs, so and so forth. Now, how NCERT will develop this curriculum framework, incorporating all this? What is actually your preparation about this?
Sir, NCERT, as you may be aware that NCERT as an institution were involved in enacting national curriculum framework earlier also, and we are presently involved in preparing working paper for the this whole exercise that will feed into this exercise, and many decisions are on the part of government, and we are also in close contact with the ministry, and we are going to take. But academic point I am just going to share with you that there are certain aspects of curriculum framework which are pertaining to subjects, okay, and different stages and subjects, and the pedagogy for that subject. We have science teaching pedagogy and social science and all. And there are certain concurrent concerns, rather you say there are certain concerns which cut across all different area. For example, gender, how to leverage on ICT, and then local knowledge, Indian knowledge system, all how this can be utilized across different subjects teaching and the whole teaching learning process. And then there are other areas also that will be there in the national curriculum framework that pertains to system or systemic reforms, assessment, all this kind of thing. Uh, a very important point that I want to just mention, that this national education policy has opened a window to each and every students in this country in a very different manner. If you recall, we were also a student at school level, and we had options in a very limited form. The policy chapter 4 has given a very wider window to children to pursue their interests. What I'm trying to say, that the policy has said it very clearly that there will be no hard separation as across the streams, and as regard to curricular or co-curricular or extracurricular. And policy has also said that there will be no hard separation as regard to academic stream and vocational stream. So this is an area where we are very much interested to bring it in the curriculum framework in very clear-cut manner.
Mhm.
So because this is a point where we have to be very clear, and it calls for different systemic requirements also. So we are in consultation with different other agencies, like other autonomous organization like Central Board of Secondary Education, and I would really look for, and I am quite hopeful that very soon we will be discussing with NTA, with UGC, all these issues. So this exercise is being planned, and we are taking a target that in coming few months we should come out with at least the first structure, that how the curriculum framework is to be placed before the ministry.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But the thing is that the hard separation that you are talking about, it also speaks about that there will be no hard separation of the curricular, co-curricular, or extracurricular, apart from this integration of vocational and academic streams. That's fine.
Yeah.
You are seriously contemplating that this can.
Yeah, sir, you see, it is a very good idea, I would personally say. I tell you, if you may be aware, or I cannot say, when I joined NIS, I was surprised, sir. This I am quoting as an example. There was one vice chancellor who was a mathematics person. All through his life, he was interested in studying biology. At the age of 60, he got registered with NIS, and he cleared biology at senior secondary level, and he cleared medical examination. Sir, this I was not aware before joining the NIS. What I am trying to say, there are other examples also. If we take a student who was after his successful graduation from the being studying some other subject. And here also I have another example did, and he's presently posted in the medical field in UK.
Oh,
Sir, with this example, what I'm trying to say, if we recall our time also, we were given advice like from our parents, uncles, and like, oh, mathematics अच्छा पढ़ते हो बेटा, तो mathematics के बाद तुम्हें तो engineering में जाना है। ऐसा क्यों नहीं हो सकता कि गणित का एक अच्छा विद्यार्थी को बहुत इच्छा हो संस्कृत पढ़ने की, फिजिक्स के साथ भी पढ़ने के साथ गणित के साथ भी किसी का बहुत इच्छा हो कि आर्ट एप्रिसिएशन, टेम्पल आर्किटेक्चर पढ़ने का, ऐसा संभावना हो सकता है। कोई व्यक्ति जो गणित का बहुत अच्छा विद्यार्थी है, भौतिकी का बहुत ही अच्छा विद्यार्थी है, उसको टेम्पल आर्किटेक्चर में बहुत अच्छा इंटरेस्ट हो सकता है। तो एक ये जो एक सपना बच्चों के मन में जो रहता था, कोई बिटिया है वो बहुत ही अच्छी साइंस की विद्यार्थी है, लेकिन उसको म्यूजिक में भी बहुत इंटरेस्ट है, डांस में भी बहुत इंटरेस्टेड है, और वो स्कूल उसको ऑफर नहीं कर रहा है, कहता है तुमने फिजिक्स, मैथमेटिक्स और बायोलॉजी ले लिया, तुमको इसके साथ यही लेना है। तो ये जो एक बहुत ही अच्छा एक एस्पिरेशनल दिखा एक अपॉर्चुनिटी सोचा गया है सर, इसके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए एक बहुत ही गहन विचार और संरचना की आवश्यकता होगी। और पॉलिसी ने थोड़ा उस पे भी थोड़ा हमें एक लीड दिया है कि जो रिसोर्सेस के जो कंसोलिडेशन के लिए स्कूल कॉम्प्लेक्सेस और रिसोर्सेस को कैसे हम करें, इसके लिए हमें तो लगता है कि हम लोग को बढ़ना चाहिए इसके तरफ। मेरा ये
नहीं, आप
व्यक्तिगत
हमारा जो सवाल है कि इसको आप महसूस तो करते हैं ठीक से, लेकिन आप इसको एड्रेस कैसे कर रहे हैं, क्या हाउ यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग टू एड्रेस दिस वन?
सर इसको या सर इसमें ऐसा है कि इसके लिए मैं जैसा आपको मैं ये बताना चाह रहा हूं कि इसमें हमें एक तो प्लानिंग करते समय, जैसे मैंने अभी कहा कि वी वुड बी वेरी सून वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग इट विद हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन आल्सो. So it's not physically possible to interact with all higher educational institutions, but we would like to, and we are planning for that, to interact with UGC or Association of Indian Universities, national testing agencies, that how we have to decide that this part or this many courses should constitute your expertise for the stream, because suppose the situation I just discussed, with that the child may move for writing examination for engineering as well as for medical also. So how these institutions will be deciding that these many portions or these courses the child should have cleared, so that the child will be eligible for my examinations, means NTA or that. So this discussion we are going to make such discussions with these institutions, and surely we will come to some point. This is my this goal, and the goal of these institutions, and this I'm placing on in different discussions also, that we should try to be very clear that the parent should not have any confusion, the child should not have confusion, because child has aspirations and curiosity, but the child is guided by parents and the system and the schools. So it should be very clearly given in the curriculum framework that if these 9, 10, 11, 12, what courses should be considered as being taken as a common core, the earlier core, and what courses should be considered as a specialized, so that the child takes those options and be eligible for this other examination, professional examinations, or liberal art, or specific interest. Some child is interested in physics and only physics. So what courses are important, so that the child should be able to get admission in universities. But one point I am trying to again and again, sir, indicate that merely NCERT to come out with a solution in this area, that 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, and mainly 11th, 12th, and that vertical mobility. In this area, probably NCERT alone will not be able to come out with very, very pakka or clear-cut solution. There we need discussion level, deliberation level support from higher education institution. This is a point that I'm trying to indicate again and again wherever I'm getting opportunities.
Yeah, Professor Srivastava, whatever you said, I'm referring to your talk, your views on this. And also NEP, when I correlated to that, it speaks about the holistic development of the learners. And it wants to empower the students through flexibility and flexibility in course choices. NEP speaks about the flexibility in courses and in choice of courses. So the key overall thrust of curriculum and pedagogy reform across all stages will move towards a real understanding and towards learning how to learn. And it is away from the rote learning that has been given the thrust. So the aim is not only the cognitive development of the students, but also building character and creating a holistic, well-rounded individuals equipped with the 21st century skills. Now, how NCERT will identify these required skill sets and include mechanisms for their transaction in the national curriculum framework, both for early childhood and also for the school education.
Sir, the point that you mentioned that the goals means we should not be focusing only on cognitive, rather the other domains also, and the skills which are required there, and the child should have the flexibility of choosing the course also. In fact, this is a view that I often talk about, that if we consider different stakeholders in school education and we start talking about the child or the school leader or the state functionaries, there is one very important stakeholder, that is the parent also. Because if we give the opportunity to child to choose among the courses, but we all know that child is also guided slightly, or you can say moderated, by the parents or teachers or school also. So we are very clear that NCERT has been positing it since last 4 or 5 years very, very extensively, that we have to not only surround all our efforts towards the cognitive things only. And we had been saying it, but it is not very easy to be understood by all other stakeholders. For example, we are as a parent, we know that and we know we are also in the society. So first of all different stakeholders have to understand it. For example, the training programs that we have designed and we are in its rollout also. Their school leader is very important, because a school leader has to also understand that if my teacher is involved in this kind of process where he or she is targeting other than cognitive goals also, psychomotor or affective domains also. For example, the 21st century skills, and now many international documents mention about transversal skill, collaboration, or a child has to have ability to appreciate others' perspective, critical appreciation, all these kind of things. So teacher training is very important, one, and state level functionaries as well as school leaders have to also understand it, and the curriculum should be very clear, defining that what will constitute as your requirement for the vertical mobility, what will constitute means courses or topics as your requirement for your further pursuing the stream with that subject. So these kind of things are very important in the curriculum framework to be clarified and given without any ambiguity, and that should at least lead the state governments to plan for their school education. So this is what I can say at the moment.
So as a teacher now, as a teacher, me as a teacher, I think probably because NEP talks about the formative and holistic assessment, and what methods will be prescribed by NCERT to assess this. This when we talk about this formative and holistic assessment, how you are, what mechanism we will prescribe for that?
Yeah. Sir, for formative assessment, you know, there are many things, but may, at times things are misunderstood also. For example, assessment of learning, assessment for learning, assessment as learning. We often come across these things, but at times things are among the teaching fraternity or among different state functioning also misunderstood also. But nowadays, assessment for learning and assessment as learning is very important. Means in the formative assessment, children, when we are saying that they have to be given a chance of experiential learning, so children should be given the chance of peer review also. Children should be given the chance of self-assessment also. Children should be given the chance of appreciating its peer also, its friends. Children should be given the chance to decide in the manner in which they should be assessed. So these are very, very noble ideas. But we know we are in India and we know the systemic situations also. Multi-grade teaching is there. In rural area, in many areas, we know that multi-grade teacher is there. But what we are trying to say or come out with, that within the given facility or the systemic realities, if teachers are trained or oriented in certain things where they are very much convinced with the idea of this formative assessment and this holistic assessment, they will at least start implementing that. This is the point. For example, that 360-degree holistic report card, a very beautiful idea is there. And nowadays, if as I know that, so you will also appreciate in the world of work, all other traits like collaborative efforts or adapting to the change, these kind of things more important than the your 90 or 95 or 97% in your content. We know world around, we are finding anybody, we know the world around, the companies, all the multinational organizations, we have not, which have not adapted to the change, they have seen its doomsday. Likewise, that works for with individual also. In the working situation, all these transversal skill or these are the effective domain skill, if we are not good at, we are having problem. So it is a long road, sir. We have to move quite far. But my point is that we should not wait for any day to come where all these things. It is slight change in our mindset also. So we are just trying to touch that space.
Absolutely. अच्छा, एक महत्वपूर्ण विषय भी हमारे ध्यान में आता है और सभी लोगों को अभी लगता है, जो कि
जी।
एक विषय है जो कोचिंग सेंटर के बारे में। जो कोचिंग
जी।
सेंटर चलाते हैं, इसके लिए ये यहाँ पर एनईपी में बोला गया है कि एफर्ट्स विल बी मेड टू एलिमिनेट द कल्चर ऑफ कोचिंग। तो
Yes.
ये क्या मैकेनिज्म अभी जो डेवलप होता है टू एलिमिनेट दिस कल्चर ऑफ कोचिंग, ये सारे जो होता है कि देखिए ऐसा है, जब हम टीचर भी थे तो हम एक +2 बोर्ड है वहां पर भी थे, तो हम कहते कि भाई ये व्हाई दिस कि रीड बिटवीन द लाइंस, व्हाई नॉट रीड इन डिटेल्स। सो वही प्रॉब्लम होता है कि शिशु विद्या मंदिर, जो सरस्वती विद्या मंदिर में डिटेल्स पढ़ाया जाता है, पब्लिक स्कूल में क्यों, एनसीईआरटी स्कूल में रीड बिटवीन द लाइंस एंड वही एग्जामिनेशन में ज्यादा मार्क रखना, यही होता है जिसके फलस्वरूप वही कोचिंग सेंटर चलता है। तो इसके लिए आप क्या प्रावधान बनाए हैं, क्या मैकेनिज्म बनाएंगे कि ये जो कल्चर खत्म हो जाए थोड़ा?
सर, ये जो एनसीईआरटी का ये हमेशा प्रयास रहता है कि हमारी किताबों में भी हम ये चाहते हैं कि बच्चे को उस विषय में और शिक्षक को ऐसे हम उसमें सवाल और ये देते हैं जहाँ पे कि उस विषय में पढ़ के एग्जाम देने, मतलब कि वो ग्रहण कर रहा है मात्र परीक्षा में बैठने के लिए, वैसा ना हो। लेकिन जैसा कि मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले आपको कहा कि इसमें जो विभिन्न हितधारकों की हम बात करते हैं, हमने ये महसूस किया है कि पेरेंट्स भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेक होल्डर है। और ये कोचिंग का जो काम है, इसमें मैंने ये महसूस किया कि कई बार हम छात्रों को स्वतंत्र ना छोड़ के हम उस पे लादने लगते हैं एज ए पेरेंट कि आपको ये करना है और यहाँ जाना है। हाँ, लेकिन अगर मैं आपके क्वेश्चन को अगर कैसे इसको टैकल करना है, उसमें जो अभी ये कॉम्पिटेंसी की बात हो गई है सर, इसमें धीरे धीरे ये सबको समझ में आने लगेगा कि हमको उस कोचिंग में जाके करने से कुछ फायदा नहीं होगा। सवाल ऐसे पूछे जाएं जहां पे वो आपको कोचिंग उसके लिए न तैयार कराए और उसमें तुरंत बैठ के आपको, अगर हम कोई एमसीक्यू 2 मिनट का देते हैं, मगर उसमें हम 10 मिनट आपको टाइम दे दें, लेकिन उसमें मोर देन 1 करेक्ट आंसर दे दें और उसमें आपको सोच के ही लिखना पड़े, तो इसमें धीरे धीरे कोचिंग भी पीछे हटने लगेंगे। क्योंकि और ये ऐसे एग्जाम्पल्स कई जगह हैं। आप कई ऐसे बोर्ड्स में, आप इंटरनेशनली भी कई हमको ऐसे अपॉर्चुनिटीज ये देखने को मिलते हैं कि ऐसे क्वेश्चंस होते हैं जिसमें कि उस बच्चे की वो कोचिंग की वो मास्टरी ऑन द कंटेंट वो काम नहीं आएगा। तो इससे हम कोचिंग को थोड़ा पीछे कर सकते हैं। ये हमारा एक एनसीईआरटी का हमेशा प्रयास रहता है और हम आगे भी ऐसे ही करेंगे।
तो एक दो सवाल और मन में भी आता है कि आपने थोड़ा बहुत एम्फसाइज किया कि ये जो कैपेसिटी ऑफ द टीचर्स कि प्रोफेशनल स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ टीचर्स, जो यहाँ पर एनईपी में बताया गया कि देयर विल बी ए कॉमन गाइडिंग सेट फॉर द नेशनल प्रोफेशनल स्टैंडर्ड फॉर टीचर्स। ये तो एनसीईटी बनाएगा, लेकिन एनसीईटी के तो खुद बना नहीं पाएंगे, तो एनसीईआरटी इन कंसल्टेशन विद एनसीईआरटी इट हैज टू बी डेवलप्ड। Whether NCERT has prepared any such document covering the expectations we expect, what should be the standard professional standards of the teachers, ये जो कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग की बात होता है।
सर, इसमें एक अभी तो जो हमें एनईपी के बाद एक दायित्व दिया गया है, तो नेशनल टीचर प्रोफेशनल स्टैंडर्ड के लिए हम लोग उसमें बना रहे हैं और ये हमको दायित्व दिया गया है ये एनईपी के बाद, और इसमें हम एनसीटी के साथ और सबके साथ मिलकर बनाएंगे। पहले एक भी कुछ हमने एक टीचर सेल्फ असेसमेंट का बनाया था, लेकिन अभी वो कुछ जगहों से, कुछ राज्यों से उसको ठीक मिला और कुछ जगह से नहीं मिला। लेकिन मेरा अभी जो कहना है वो टीचर प्रोफेशनल स्टैंडर्ड में अभी जो हम बनाएंगे उसमें कुछ ऐसी बातों को भी हमको रखना पड़ेगा जहां पे कि हम सिर्फ टीचर के एंड पे भी खाली ये ना देखें कि उसका कंटेंट और कंटेंटेबिलिटी टीचर की है और उसी को मान के अगर वो चल रहा है कि नहीं जी साहब हमें बहुत अच्छा ये बातें पढ़ा देने भी रहेगा, तो वो उसके स्टैंडर्ड से आगे भी बढ़ना पड़ेगा। जैसे एक क्लासरूम में बच्चा आ रहा है, बच्चे को कैसे उसको एडजस्टमेंट में टीचर कैसे सपोर्ट कर पा रहा है, डाइवर्स कल्चर से बच्चा आ रहा है, मल्टीलिंगुअल जो सिचुएशन है क्लासरूम की उसको टीचर कैसे हैंडल कर रहा है, उसके लिए अप्रिसिएशन उसके मन में है कि नहीं, डाइवर्स कल्चर को कैसे लेके चल रहा है, इन सब चीजों को भी स्टैंडर्ड्स में डालना पड़ेगा। और टीचर एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट, हम सभी जानते हैं, हम तो हमेशा से कहते हैं हमारे इस देश में गुरु के लिए जो एक बहुत उच्च स्थान है, लेकिन उस गुरु को भी ये बोध, वर्तमान व्यवस्था में मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूं कि उस गुरु को एक बोध हो कि उसके दायित्व क्या क्या हैं, क्योंकि वो भी आना सोचे कि हमने अगर टेट क्लियर कर लिया, टीचर एलिजिबिलिटी टेस्ट क्लियर कर लिया, तो अब मैं टीचर मतलब सर्व ज्ञान वो हो गया, ऐसा नहीं। तो उसको ये सारे एस्पेक्ट्स पे लाने पड़ेंगे, ये मेरा विचार है। हम लोग चर्चा के स्तर पे ये बातें अभी रख रहे हैं और इसको बनाने जी।
ठीक। और एक चीज इसमें भी आ रहा है कि ये कोविड-19 का जो लॉकडाउन हुआ, ये फॉरएवर इट चेंज द टीचिंग लर्निंग that has to take place in future. That has become a new normal, you know. So the closure of the schools that has also resulted in a new online system that has really evolved. You know, what kind of role do you see for NCERT, at least with regard to the training of teachers in this new scenario? ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी की बात हम करते हैं, ज्यादातर तो टीचर्स भी नहीं है, इसलिए एनसीईआरटी का कुछ ऐसा कर रहे हैं क्या आप?
जी सर, ये आपने बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट बात बताई कि दिस पैंडेमिक के बाद जो एक न्यू नॉर्मल, हम इसे वर्ल्ड वार इसे कहा जा रहा है, और ऐसी सिचुएशन हमें भी इसका बोध हो रहा है कि ऐसी संभावना भविष्य में भगवान न करे लेकिन ऐसी कोई संभावना फिर हो, या ऐसे सिचुएशन हमने देखा। एनसीईआरटी ने इसमें काफी ज्यादा आईसीटी को लेवरेज किया। हमारी एक संस्थान भी है, हमारा एक घटक है सेंट्रल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एजुकेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी, और जो हम एक निष्ठा कार्यक्रम 2019 में फेस टू फेस ट्रेनिंग का लाए थे, नेशनल इनिशिएटिव फॉर स्कूल हेड्स एंड टीचर्स होलिस्टिक एडवांसमेंट, उसको हमने तुरंत, मंत्रालय ने भी काफी त्वरित गति से ये निर्देश पारित किया, और हम संस्थान के रूप में हमने तुरंत उसका ऑनलाइन वर्जन और वो लॉन्च कर दिया। तो अब हम निष्ठा ट्रेनिंग को ऑनलाइन मोड में ले रहे हैं और हमारे कई राज्य इससे जुड़ गए हैं। तो एक तो टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग के फ्रंट पे हम ऑनलाइन के जो भी आईसीटी के टेक्नोलॉजी टूल्स हैं उसको लेवरेज कर रहे हैं। शिक्षण के क्षेत्र में ये जो पीएम ई विद्या जो वन नेशन वन प्लेटफॉर्म है, उसमें हम सभी संस्थान आपके सीबीएसई, एनआईएस, एनसीईआरटी, हम सभी मिलके सारे जो भी ई कंटेंट है उसको एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे ला रहे हैं, और डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस में भी, जो कि बच्चों को सुलभ रूप से उपलब्ध हो। जैसे हम फ्लिप क्लासरूम की जो बात करते हैं, वहां पे भी देखिए आजकल ऐसा हो रहा है कि जो बच्चा है वो भी the child looks for content from across different sources, and it is in a way good also. At mainly at the higher classes, child is looking for content, and now everybody is having smartphone in his or her hand, and connectivity situation is also increasing. तो वो एनसीईआरटी उसको पूरा कोशिश कर रही है कि इसको हम उसको अवेलेबल करें और बच्चे उसको उपयोग में करें, डिस्कशन करें। टीचर्स के ग्रुप्स हैं जो एक, हम सबसे ज्यादा तो एक कोशिश में ये रहते हैं कि हम पीयर शेयरिंग करें, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस को शेयर करें। बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस को शेयर करना, बेस्ट कंटेंट को शेयर करना, ये टीचर्स के बीच में भी एक इसका कह लीजिए आप फैशन या कल्चर स्टार्ट हो कि कोई पर्टिकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट को कैसे क्लैरिटी के साथ टीचर्स स्टूडेंट्स को बताएं। उसमें कोई अगर छोटा सा भी अगर हमारे पास ई कंटेंट हो उसको शेयर किया जाए। तो ये सारी चीजें का एक बहुत अच्छा प्रयास चल रहा है और टीचर्स इसको अब यंग टीचर्स काफी इसको यूज कर रहे हैं।
इसके चलते हुए मैं एक और चीज जोड़ना चाहूंगा इस सवाल में कि ये एनईपी भी ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी असिस्टेड लर्निंग प्रोग्राम चलाना चाहते हैं, स्पेशली अबाउट द इंक्लूसिवनेस इनिशिएटिव्स, ये जो है कि देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ एक्सेस इन सम अनडेवलप्ड और डिसएडवांटेज रीजन्स लाइक योर केबीके हो या चाहे ऐसे जो है, और जो स्पेशल एजुकेशन जोन की बात हम करते हैं इसीलिए, तो इसके लिए फिर जो एनसीईआरटी का कुछ रोल होगा क्या इसमें, जो टेक्नोलॉजी असिस्टेड लर्निंग प्रोग्राम और जो स्पेशल एजुकेशन जोन आइडेंटिफाई करके वहां पर कैसे शिक्षा प्रदान किया जाए, जो ये जो स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ एजुकेशन हैज टू बी प्रोवाइडेड देयर in a very disadvantaged areas and disadvantaged people, ये इसके लिए एनसीईआरटी का कोई कुछ पॉलिसी बन रहा है क्या?
हाँ, देखिए इसके लिए तो जो अभी कोविड के ही दरमियान एक बहुत अच्छा प्रयास ये किया गया कि जैसे हम जो आईसीटी यूज के भी एक गाइडलाइन तैयार किए, जिसमें हमने डिफरेंट तरह के विभिन्न परिस्थितियों को इंगित किया। जैसे हो सकता है कि कोई बच्चा हो उसको सारी फैसिलिटी हो आईसीटी की, कोई बच्चा या परिवार है जिसको थोड़ी फैसिलिटी हो, कोई बच्चा या परिवार को कुछ भी फैसिलिटी ना हो। तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में कैसे कोविड सिनेरियो में हम बच्चों तक वो हमारा जैसे एक अल्टरनेटिव एकेडमिक कैलेंडर भी हमने बनाया था, तो ये सारी बातें कैसे पहुंचे। तो इसमें हमने जो आपका एक तो फ्री चैनल्स टीटीएच चैनल पे भी हमारी सारी चीजें आ रही हैं और वो उसमें बहुत हमको दिया गया है, और हमने इसमें कम्युनिटी रेडियो का उपयोग किया है। उनके एसोसिएशन के साथ भी हम जुड़ के कम्युनिटी रेडियो के थ्रू भी हमारे कंटेंट जो ऑडियो कंटेंट है वो जा रहे हैं। तो हमारा ये है कि बच्चों तक कुछ पहुंचे। इसमें जो मैं एक बार जैसे पहले के अभी बातचीत में भी कह रहा था कि हमने जो कॉम्पिटेंसी को सेंटर करके जो सारी बातें कही हैं, तो इसमें बच्चे के पास एक लिबर्टी है कि उसको बहुत चिंता नहीं करना है कि ये कंटेंट ही हमारे सामने हो, मेरा पर्टिकुलर कंटेंट से ही ये रिलेट करके ये हमारा जो ऑडियो कंटेंट है, ऑडियो क्लिप्स है, वो किसी कंटेंट से ही हमारे बुक से रिलेटेड है, ऐसा नहीं है। तो बच्चे को और उसको सुन के भी उसको कोई एक उसमें बात किया गया कि आप ऐसा विचार करें, आप इसके बारे में कुछ शब्द लिख, कुछ वाक्य लिखें, तो बच्चा कर सकता है। तो इस तरह से डिफरेंट हम उसको पहुंचने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और आगे का भी ऐसा ही प्लान रहेगा कि डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस को आइडेंटिफाई करके हम अपने किसी भी इंटरवेंशन को प्लान करें।
बहुत बहुत अच्छा, एक लास्ट सवाल है आपसे, लास्ट क्वेश्चन क्या है कि द एनईपी 2020 has given a new responsibility to NCERT in addition to the school education. NCERT now will also be responsible for teaching learning of adults. What measures should the NCERT to take? Because earlier also many policies were there. तो वहाँ ये NCERT जो रिवाइव करने का एडल्ट एजुकेशन को, क्या कोई प्रस्ताव चल रहा है? क्या कर रहे हैं?
देखिए इसको रिवाइव करने के लिए जो है मैं इसमें एक बात आपके समक्ष रखना चाहूँगा कि पॉलिसी ने इसको बहुत ही क्लियरली जब किसी भी समस्या के संदर्भ में हम आयामों को या बिंदुओं को इंगित कर लेते हैं तो हमारा काम थोड़ा सा आसान हो जाता है। तो पॉलिसी ने बहुत क्लियरली बोला है कि इस एडल्ट एजुकेशन के भी उन्होंने 4-5 डायमेंशंस को आइडेंटिफाई कर दिए हैं। जैसे फाउंडेशनल लिटरेसी या न्यूमरेसी हो, एडल्ट लर्नर्स के बारे में भी फाउंडेशनल लिटरेसी न्यूमरेसी हो, उनमें बेसिक एजुकेशन की भी थोड़ी चीज होनी चाहिए, क्रिटिकल लाइफ स्किल होना चाहिए, वोकेशनल एजुकेशन के भी एस्पेक्ट्स कवर होने चाहिए थोड़े बहुत, और एक और उसमें कंटिन्यूइंग एजुकेशन के। तो हम इन पांचों चीज को देखते हुए हमने एक अभी जो एक हम बना रहे हैं, इसमें हम प्राइमरली ये सोच रहे हैं कि एक तो हमें दायित्व दिया गया है एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट यूनिट बनाने का, और ये सब तो वो एक संस्थागत निर्णय और ये सारे होंगे ही होंगे, लेकिन जो थीमेटिकली और एकेडमिकली हम ये सोच के चल रहे हैं कि फाउंडेशनल लिटरेसी न्यूमरेसी थोड़ा अक्षर ज्ञान और नंबर ज्ञान, मतलब बेसिक एजुकेशन की बात, और हम थोड़ा सा भी जैसे हम ये क्रिटिकल लाइफ स्किल इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कि एडल्ट लर्नर को वो अपने मोबाइल से नंबर मिलाना हो, या थोड़े से उसको बैंक जाके कैसे काम करना हो, अपना और भी थोड़ा बहुत अस्पताल जाके कैसे करना हो, ये भी पोर्शन करके, और थोड़ा सराउंडिंग में जो वोकेशन चल रहे हैं उसके बारे में बताते हुए, इतना चीज अगर हम कर लेंगे तो फिर वो एडल्ट लर्नर तो कंटिन्यूइंग एजुकेशन के पास, उसके पास ऑप्शंस हैं ही हैं। जैसे एनआईएस ऐसी संस्थान है, कोई अगर 30-32 साल का युवक है, अगर उसने एडल्ट लर्नर के हमारे फोल्ड में आके ये सारी चीज करके, थोड़ा सा वोकेशन के बारे में करके, और उसे ये सारे ज्ञान हो जाए, तो आगे कंटिन्यूइंग एजुकेशन भी कर सकता है वो। एनआईएस तो पूरे 80 इयर्स तक के स्पेक्ट्रम में काम कर रहा है। एनआईएस के साथ वो कोई आगे का कार्य कर सकता है, कंटिन्यूइंग एजुकेशन भी हो सकती है। तो ऐसा हमारा विचार है, हम इसके तरफ काम कर रहे हैं।
तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सिद्धार्थ जी, और रियली इट इज अमेजिंग टू टॉक टू यू। इतने सारे सवाल, इतने, यू हैव अ वेरी क्लियर आइडिया अबाउट एवरीथिंग दैट पर्टेन्स टू स्कूल एजुकेशन। बहुत अच्छे, जो हमारे मन में जो संशय रहता है कि बिकॉज आई रिप्रेजेंट द स्टेक होल्डर्स एंड एज अ कॉमन मैन, तो जो सवाल मन में आता है कि नया एजुकेशन पॉलिसी कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट होगा, कैसे होगा ये करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क, ये सारे के सवाल आपने अच्छे तरह से जवाब दिए। थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू।
थैंक्स फॉर दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी। नमस्कार।
अनीश जी, हेलो Anish ji, are you present?
Yes, sir, I am present.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. So
thank you so much, Professor Sridhar Srivastava, sir, for such an insightful interview and sparing time from your busy.
My pleasure to interact. My pleasure.
I'm sure it will not only benefit our administrators implementing NEP 2020, but also educate students, parents, and other educators regarding various provisions of NEP in its letter and spirit. I would also like to thank Professor KB Das ji for excellently moderating this session. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Yeah, Professor Srivastava, one thing that I would like to extend my support for to you. In any case, if you want me, I'm also a GB member of NIOS, since you are in charge of that, and probably a great responsibility lies with the NIOS now. अगर आप चाहें तो किसी हद तक कोई कहीं हमारा सपोर्ट अगर हमें भी यूज करना चाहे कहीं भी, तो आप यू आर वेलकम ऑलवेज टू स्पीक।
कल एनसीईआरटी के ही कल किसी एक ग्रुप में मैंने आपका नाम दिया, और मैं नंबर आपका नंबर मैं उस समय शायद नहीं ले पाया था, या वो मैं आपका नंबर चाहूंगा अगर आप।
जी जी जी, मैं आपके पास अनीश जी से लेके फिर आपको मैं दे देता हूँ।
ठीक है, ठीक।
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार। Anish ji, may I leave now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.